Hart here. I'm running for the 2020 election. And today, over the next 10 minutes, I'd like to express my gratitude. For in 2009, the Naval Academy invited me to speak about generational leadership. It's a big hall, had hundreds, possibly thousands of motivated leaders for tomorrow. I was able to bring my grandfather and my father. My grandfather served in the Navy out of San Diego on the sonar team. And he was my idol. He was an entrepreneur. He was one that led our family from the lowest economic class into the medium economic class. And we had opportunities to provide for others. We had opportunities to be humanitarian with our efforts. And we were able to spend our weekends in church and faith and really think about ways in which the world operates and can improve. But I heard so many stories that really motivated me as a child. And so to be able to bring him to Annapolis, sit there in the first row and listen to his grandson talk about generational leadership, it really meant a lot to me. We were able to go into the mess hall. We were able to spend time with the football team, the rugby team. And my father and my grandfather have never looked at me with such eyes. I mean, it was the compassion, it was love, it was a level of respect. And my grandfather passed a couple years after that, and my father has recently passed. And I just look back at that moment with just some honor. So I just want to express my gratitude. As presidential candidate for 2020, I'd like to talk about 10 ways in which I would like to improve the military and Naval Academy. And I hope that these resonate with you. These are ideas that came from my talks in 2009. And now as a member trying to represent our fine country, I hope to implement these. Because as we all agree, words are cheap and action doesn't come lightly nowadays. Number one, a higher compensation and stronger healthcare. And that's while you're in the service and after. It's a no-brainer. You're risking your lives. You have the ambition, the thought, the expertise, the knowledge. You need to be compensated. The amount of economic growth, the GDP, the market capitalizations that's occurring over the last 2 decades compared with actual compensation, pay on the military. You see this trend on GDP, and yet you see this cost of wages, and you see the actual cost of living. These are not trends that are helping the average person in the military. So higher compensation, priority on healthcare, number one. Number two deals with technology. We are being beat. Russia, North Korea, China, almost everybody's passing us by. This separation between private and public sector technology is costing a lot of money in bureaucracy. There needs to be more implementation for the greater good of America. Number three, climate change. Climate science needs to be studied and addressed with more humanitarian efforts by our military, by working in all 800 military bases outside the United States, helping the world be educated on renewable energy. It has to be a priority. As military officers, we're leaders. We are trying to transcend technology and humanitarian efforts to all 8 billion people on Earth, because we are all citizens of this fine planet. I hope that really resonates with you and you understand where I'm coming from. Number four deals with humanitarian efforts, and that's not just on climate change. That means that we're the helping hand. We're the thought of logic and reason. We have a big stick. We have nuclear arms. We have millions of soldiers. We have Minutemen coming in all these different states. But where do we come across in terms of being the helping hand? America in World War I, World War II, when I look back to the Revolutionary War, when I look back to our history, I think some of those processes in terms of the fabric of our country have degraded a tad. We need to look at our priorities and being a leader for humanitarian efforts in the world. Number five, and this deals with being strong and lethal, yet not portraying such an aggressive attitude. Less imperialistic goals, more comfort of love and respect to all citizens of the world. And that's something that I learned from some of the finest men when I was in Annapolis. They picked us at the airport. We talked about, the daily routine. We talked about some of the different talks and their professors. These are basic in Annapolis. And I feel humbled that I was able to learn some of these different attributes and just the way that you perceive the world. That needs to be carried over into actual action in terms of the military. This mutually assured destruction approach we have on nuclear arms, that's not the way I see the world. I see the world as bridges, helping hands, collaborating. Number 6, less nuclear arms. We already have thousands of them. Why do we want to spend another $2 trillion making more of them? We have 4,000 pounds of weapons-grade plutonium that's sitting around. We have the exact same amount in other countries. We're gonna create more of this? We have our inner cities, our schools, our transportation, our healthcare system struggling. Budget needs to be shifted to help our country internally and not so much aggression. Number 7, cybersecurity must be increased. We're getting beat. We need to have more knowledge, strength, intelligence, expertise, technology in this department because the wars of tomorrow are on computers and phones, drones, men in combat. Things are changing. We are following Rome's footsteps. We are becoming lazy. The dichotomy, the polarization of our country, it is wreaking havoc. We're thinking so internally and not looking abroad that I feel like our eye is off the ball. Number 8, more jobs in technology after you're out of service. So your training, America spends hundreds of thousands of dollars in dedication and resources to create a soldier, to create a person that represents our country. We have the finest soldiers in the world. Why, when you leave service, should you have any type of differentiation from that path? We want you to continue. That means that you should be sought after in the private sector. That means you should have a 6-figure job with healthcare. Doesn't mean you should be wondering about your next steps. The only way that's going to happen is if we put the infrastructure in place for training, testing, being able to provide you a certain craft, having an expertise. So the generalization of an American soldier needs to have much more focus. And I understand there are focuses, but I'm talking next level with STEM, logical reasoning and thought, a lot of the different things that are happening in the technology world. We should be experts in blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation. This should be like the back of our hand. It's got to be a priority by the American government. Number 9, this really gets into vets in terms of twofold. One is that we need to learn from them. We need to basically have these mentorship programs, provide stronger health care, bring them in, be part of the family. Right now, it's impossible for them to be able to get their prescription. They're not able to get medical support. They're not able to have any type of path. And yet, these are the people that provided our freedom. World War II, do your diligence. I'm heartbroken at how America was such a savior in fighting fascism, such a savior in fighting communism. And now we just have so much aggression. The democracy that we push is being offset from the imperialistic approach our military takes at times. I hope you agree with this. It seems very evident. And last, number 10, and this is really important. This involves being able to allow a family within the military to be together more often. I think it's so hard that somebody goes out for 6, 9, 12 months. It doesn't provide any way of someone creating, the type of family values. We have so much addiction to pornography. We have so much addiction to affairs, online dating, and so forth. It's just ripping apart American families. We should be able to have stronger family values in terms of time, location, etc. And that's simple planning. Somebody shouldn't be able to be denied love from their family for months, years at a time. That's just simply ridiculous. Hart Cunningham, 2020, 10 things I'd like to improve about our armed forces. God bless.